So, we made it. 10 years later, and in less than 24 hours, we will have Dragon Age the Veilguard in our hands. It feels so surreal. After all the theories, all the conversations, the arguments, the analysis, we'll finally get this game that we love and have been waiting for. I'm just, I'm in shock. And so, in anticipation of that, in preparation for when we all get this game in our hands, I do have a couple of things to say for you to keep in mind before you dive into the game tomorrow. Don't worry, there won't be spoilers, whether in the clips I show or in the things I say. Just consider this me giving a little bit of advice to help you enjoy the game some more come release day. Firstly, take your time. I know you want to immediately be on social media talking about it, testing out your theories, but consider this. You have been waiting for this. Whether it's been 10 years for you, or 10 months, or even 10 days. Because I know some people just got into Dragon Age in anticipation of this and have been playing Inquisition, to which I say, welcome. Glad you enjoyed the games and franchise that holds our collective hearts. Let's settle in together for a ride that would most certainly be a beautiful, emotionally charged, but hopefully satisfying one. But as I was saying, you've waited patiently. 10 years, 10 months, 10 weeks, 10 days. Whatever the number might have been, you waited. You persevered. You anticipated. You prayed. I don't know about you, but I pray to the gods that we get this game. And something tells me that Hermes probably liked that a lot, and Loki too. But yeah, you hoped and prayed, and now it's finally here. And although we live in a consumerist society that would see you trying to rush and inhale the game, don't. Take your time. Savor it. Get lost in the world. Get lost in the details of it. Talk to every NPC you can. Get to know them well. Enjoy the staples of what BioWare does well. Crafting worlds and characters that are a delight to slowly learn about and get to know. Every secret you will unravel, every depth you will explore, every corner you discover, they are all part of that experience. They are things that BioWare does well and sets up for us to really enjoy when we find them. So do that. Take your time. There is no rush. 10 years is a long time to wait. Why have it be over in 10 hours? That makes no sense. This is the first time we're going to be in the north. This is the first time you're going to get to experience it, see it, live it, be in it. You're never going to get to see it all for the first time ever again. Don't miss it. Don't miss out. No matter how things pick up and get your blood boiling, or how desperate you are to be done so you can talk all about it, there is no need to rush. Take your time. Secondly, don't let anyone steal your joy. A lot of you discovered my channel for the first time with my Try Malicious Enjoyment video. I made that because a couple of months ago, I Notice the influx, the surge of the most vitriolic trolls who try their darndest to attempt to ruin our excitement for the game when the announcement was first made. And I will say now what I said then. Don't let the trolls take away your excitement for this game. Enjoy it. Love it. Despite their hatred. Why should you let people who have lost their joy for anything really? People who live the saddest lives possible. Who dream of ruination and things being an absolute disaster just for the sake of their ego and refusal to live in a world that isn't limited or confined to their narrow experiences. Why would you let people whose only interactions with the game is either through others because, they refuse to think for themselves or come to their own conclusions? Or they played the games like it was just a regular action-adventure RPG, ignoring the fact that BioWare has always told stories of inclusion and trying to help as many people as possible in a quest to save the world or save the galaxy. And in doing so, there is a need to realize that all life matters and is important and deserves to be safe. Whether they are an annoying fan with a clear case of hero worship, a marginalized group with people who are treated as other by their society, or an entire race who are in constant conflict with the machines they created and gave form and now seek to destroy. Why would you let people who do not really understand the depth of BioWare storytelling try and take that joy away? So yes, like I said in that video, try malicious enjoyment. The louder they are with their hate, the louder you are with your love and your joy. Or if you don't have the energy for all of that, and I don't sometimes, starve them off, cut off their supply, hit the block button and curate your space. It is your money, it is your time, it is your choice. Don't give that power away to dumbasses who are acting surprised that choosing your faction, race, and gender would influence the dialogue choice you got. Like, do you understand? Hear how stupid this sound. In what world, in what universe does that make even an iota of sense? Of course it's going to influence the dialogue. These people are not worth it. Block and enjoy your game, especially if you refer back to my first point. If you're taking the time to fully enjoy Dragon Age the Veilguard, don't waste that energy or time on the haters. Don't give them the room or opportunity to take what you love away from you. Thirdly, remember that comparison is the thief of joy. BioWare is BioWare. They are not Larian. They are not CD Projekt Red. They are not Bethesda. They are BioWare. Their stories have always been different. The way they tell it, the things that matter to them as a studio. That has always been the story, the lore, the characters, the relationship you develop with them. Not necessarily the romance, but the interactions. The team you get to build and how they feel holistically themselves. And also the found family that you're willing to fight for. The push towards hope. That has always been the stories that BioWare seeks to tell. Every studio is unique in what their games are like, and we welcome that. We welcome that diversity. Larian is good at the crafting open worlds and leaving it all to the players to do whatever they want, explore however they want, all the whilst trying to guide them back to the story. But that isn't BioWare. That has never been BioWare, and yes, that also includes Origins. BioWare's style of RPGs has always had more emphasis on the role part rather than the playing part of RPG storytelling. Sure, you're playing the game and playing in the world, but they prioritize the character whose story you're living as. Whether it's a warden, a hawk, an inquisitor, a commander, you're playing that role. You're an actor with a script you've been given to read. You might not like the role you are to play or the script you've been given or even how you're being directed, but that is your role. That is the kind of story that BioWare makes. Larian, on the other hand, focuses more on the playing part of their RPG storytelling. It's a sandbox and they tell you to go wild. Both studios are good at what they do, but what they do is very varied. Don't come into Dragon Age the Veilguard expecting to get Baldur's Gate 3. They are markedly different stories, and the studios that make them prioritize different things for their RPG curated experiences. I love both games, although I am a bigger fan of BioWare stories than Larian's. Sue me. But as I was saying, they do and want different things, and so if you spend your entire playthrough comparing, you might end up really hating the experience. Your joy is easy to lose, so you have to keep that comparison warning in mind. And the reason I bring this up is because I know a lot of Baldur's Gate 3 fans have found their way into the Dragon Age fandom. And to that I will always say welcome. Just know what we are about here. Know what story you're getting and keep that in mind as you play. Rook isn't Tahav or Dodge. Rook is a clearly defined role you will be playing, so remember that. And for my oldies Dragon Age fans, let's also remember, Rook isn't the Warden, Rook isn't Hawk, Rook isn't the Inquisitor, Rook is Rook. They are themselves and this is their story. Let's keep that in mind, okay? Fourthly, and this is just a pet peeve of mine, it's not an absolute, but I just think it helps with the immersion and the story being told. Read as much as you can. If there is anything I hate more than anything else in this world about the stereotypes that are being pushed on those of us who love and play video games, it is this belief that we don't read. Like, sure, there are people who don't like reading, and there are certain games that don't require it, but come on. RPGs as a genre are games that thrive on telling stories and thrive on incredible world building. And both of these things require exploring the world and reading up on what you can find, because they provide context for your character, the histories they are dealing with, the characters they are meeting, and how they interact and fit into their world. And this is especially so for BioWare games. If I had to take a shot every time I watch a video or see a tweet with someone complaining about not understanding something, Something that is easily discernible if they just fucking read the codex. I would be a non-functional alcoholic. Like for real. Read, learn. Remember earlier when I said you should take your time with playing the game and seeing everything? That also applies to reading everything. Because you're in Northern Thedas. This is the first time we're seeing all these places that in the previous games had only been mentioned by passers-by and our companions. Why would you miss out on reading and finding out everything you can about these places, their histories, their traditions and culture? Why would you miss out on all of that? Well, like I said, this one is the bit that is just all focused on my pet peeve. You don't need to absolutely follow me on this if you don't want to. I'm just putting it out there. And finally, and most importantly, have fun. Enjoy yourself. Life is hard. Adulting is stressful. We keep getting hit with the results of our negligence as a society that has led to our climate collapsing around our heads. Nothing is certain. So take your joy where you can find it. And if that joy happens to be in Dragon Age the Veilguard, then revel in it and have a blast. Because it is a labor of love put together by the devs, the writers, the artists, the programmers. Everyone that has put in the work at BioWare to bring us to this moment. And I'm sure a lot of them are more than happy at the thought that you would or might find joy and enjoy yourself with the game. So do just that. The naysayers might come and tell you, oh, everyone that made BioWare is all gone. They might bring up the sheep of Theseus as a way to discourage you having any form of joy within this game. And to that I say, so? Even some of your cells as a human being get replaced on a regular basis. Olaf Bergman, principal researcher in the Department of Cell and Molecular Biology at the Karolinska Institute in Stockholm, states that most of the skin and gut are replaced very fast, most likely within months. In a study with his colleagues that is featured in Cell Systems, their research into liver tissue postulates that most liver cells are replaced within 3 years. So my question is, does the fact that your skin and your gut and your liver are not the same from, say, 7 years ago, does that make you any less you? At most, we can agree that your life experiences have changed you fundamentally in certain areas and aspects, but you're still you. You've learned, you've grown, you've become an older, more mature you. Different, but also the same in some aspects. It's the same thing for me with BioWare. Some people have left. A lot of them actually, but you still have some of the team still present, still working. You have a BioWare that has grown, that has aged, that are different in some places, but still the same. And from what we've seen of Dragon Age the Veilguard, I mean, I haven't played the game yet. Tomorrow will soon be here, and like you, I will be back in Thedas. But I've watched some of the reviews, a lot of them. And I've also read a ton of the reviews as well, both negative and positive. And what I did is what I do with reviews across different media that I want to consume. I figured out what I actually want from the thing being reviewed. In this case, I want the signature staple of a good BioWare story. One that explores human emotions and its complexities. One that is about choice, that is about building a family, that is a focus on the characters and their stories, and if the game convinces me enough to care. I want good lore. I want a world that is varied and different, and diversity that is reflected in the characters and the experiences. I want a conclusion to the story that we left off in Trespasser. I want the chance to play as Rook, who I hope is distinctly different from the hero of Ferelden, the champion of Kirkwall, the herald of Andraste. And from the reviews, both the negative ones, who a lot of what they highlighted that they didn't like is what I want in the story. And the positive ones who confirmed my niche interest in the BioWare games, that it's there. I'm excited for this game. I am going into it with a ton of joy. And I hope if it does hit the beats that you want in the story, in the game itself, you're able to enjoy it as well. So Dragon Age fans, we made it to the end. We are almost here. It's a day to Dragon Age the Veilguard drop. Breathe. Hydrate. Get your snacks. Get your game. And I hope you have a blast with it. If you want to follow my playthrough, I will be uploading it to my secondary channel, PS It's Noria. Tomorrow's video would only be about me creating my Rook. So if you want to watch that happen, then do come on over and say hi. I'll leave the link to the channel in the description box. But yes, let me know in the comments, what do you look forward to in a Dragon Age game? What about this series and the stories we've gotten so far is compelling to you? This girl is very curious. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. If you didn't, hit the dislike button. The choice is yours really, and I don't mind at all. If you did enjoy it and would like others to watch this as well, then please consider sharing the video. It helps me reach a wider audience, which in turn helps my channel grow and is incredibly supportive of my content. Speaking of support, a huge thank you to my patrons who help me keep the lights on and are a lifeline in this world of uncertainty. Thank you. If you would like to support me on Patreon and can afford to do so, the link to it is in the description box. Whilst you wait for new content from me, do check out my video from a while back where I highlight 10 reasons why I am excited for the game. Until next time, do remember, obsessing over the things you love, perfectly valid coping mechanism.